Summer's just getting started, but your garden doesn't have to wait to shine. In this video, we're highlighting 10 early summer perennials that burst into bloom right as the season begins, bringing vibrant color, bold texture, and fresh energy to your landscape. These plants are more than just pretty, they're reliable, hardworking, and timed perfectly to fill the gap between spring's fading blooms and summer's full show. Whether you're planting a new bed or refreshing your borders, these early bloomers will give your garden a head start on the season. Let's dive into the perennials that know how to make a strong first impression right when your garden needs it most. First on the list is the bold and beautiful coneflower, or echinacea, a true summer staple that brings instant color and pollinator action to any garden. These perennials are known for their large, daisy-like blooms with raised central cones and petals that gracefully droop. Available in classic purples, as well as pink, white, orange, and even vibrant red, coneflowers make a dramatic entrance right as early summer kicks off. They typically start blooming in late spring or early summer, and once they do, they just don't stop. These flowers are sun lovers, thriving in full sun and well-drained soil, and they're extremely adaptable, tolerating heat, drought, and even poor soil conditions. Hardy in zones 3 to 9, coneflowers are a reliable choice for gardeners in a wide range of climates, and once they're in the ground, they practically take care of themselves. Coneflowers are also powerhouses for pollinators. Their nectar-rich blooms attract bees, butterflies, and even hummingbirds, while the dried seed heads provide food for songbirds like goldfinches in late summer and fall. They pair beautifully with ornamental grasses, black-eyed Susans, and salvia for a wild, prairie-inspired look or a more structured border design. If you're looking to start your summer garden strong, coneflower is a no-fuss, high-reward perennial that checks all the boxes: long bloom time, minimal maintenance, drought tolerance, and a major pollinator magnet. It's one of those plants that looks amazing, does good for the garden, and asks for almost nothing in return. Next up is the unbeatable Daylily, or Hemerocallis, a true garden workhorse and one of the easiest perennials to grow. With its graceful, arching foliage and trumpet-shaped blooms in just about every color imaginable, daylilies bring a burst of bold color right at the start of summer. Each individual flower lasts only a day, but don't let that fool you. Each stem carries multiple buds, giving you weeks of non-stop bloom. Daylilies begin flowering in early to mid-summer, and many varieties will bloom again later in the season. They thrive in full sun to light shade, adapt to a variety of soil types, and are hardy in zones 3 to 9. Once established, they're drought-tolerant, pest-resistant, and incredibly low maintenance. You can plant them and almost forget about them until they come back year after year, bigger and better. These plants are perfect for mass plantings, borders, or lining walkways, where their tidy mounds of green foliage and bright blooms can really shine. They pair beautifully with coneflowers, coreopsis, and ornamental grasses, and their tough nature makes them ideal for beginners or anyone looking for long-lasting summer color without the hassle. If you want a plant that starts strong and keeps going with very little fuss, Daylily is your go-to perennial. It's vibrant, reliable, and one of the best ways to kick off summer with a colorful, carefree garden. Coming in at number 3 is the ever-popular lavender, a sun-loving perennial that brings color, fragrance, and structure to the garden, all in one plant. With its silvery green foliage and soft purple flower spikes, lavender is as beautiful as it is useful. It starts blooming in early summer, often right around the time roses and other early bloomers begin to fade, giving your garden a fresh wave of color and scent. Lavender thrives in full sun, loves well-drained, slightly alkaline soil, and is best suited for zones 5 to 9. Once established, it's extremely drought-tolerant, deer-resistant, and requires very little maintenance. A light trim after flowering can encourage a second flush of blooms later in the season. And as a bonus, it's a favorite of bees, butterflies, and other beneficial pollinators. This plant looks right at home in almost any garden style, from cottage and Mediterranean gardens to modern, minimalist landscapes. It works beautifully along walkways, in borders, or even in mass plantings where its fragrance can really shine. Plus, dried lavender stems make wonderful sachets or home decor, so you get garden beauty and indoor benefits too. If you're looking for a perennial that kicks off summer with color, scent, and pollinator power, lavender is a must-grow. It's tough, timeless, and brings a calming presence to your garden just when the season starts to heat up. At number 4 is the cheerful and classic Shasta daisy, a symbol of summer itself. With its crisp white petals and golden yellow centers, this perennial lights up the garden in early summer with a clean, bright look that feels both timeless and fresh. It's the kind of flower that instantly makes a space feel alive, sunny, and well-loved. Shasta daisies begin blooming in early to mid-summer and continue into late summer with regular deadheading. They grow best in full sun and well-drained soil, and are hardy in zones 4 to 9. These plants are surprisingly tough, drought-tolerant, low-maintenance, and even deer-resistant once established. They'll come back stronger each year, forming tidy clumps that can be divided to spread their beauty around. Perfect for cottage gardens, borders, or cutting gardens, Shasta daisies look amazing paired with coneflowers, salvia, or ornamental grasses. Their long, sturdy stems make them excellent for bouquets, and their bold white color provides a stunning contrast against deeper hues in the landscape. If you want a perennial that kicks off summer with sunshine and simplicity, Shasta daisy delivers in every way. It's easy to grow, endlessly cheerful, and one of the best choices for creating that classic summer garden feel. Coming in at number 5 is the tropical-looking yet tough-as-nails hardy hibiscus, also known as rose mallow. These perennials bring massive wow factor to the garden with their dinner plate-sized blooms in bold shades of red, pink, white, or bicolor. Just as summer gets underway, hibiscus bursts onto the scene with big, dramatic flowers that look like they belong in a tropical paradise. Hardy hibiscus typically starts blooming in early to mid-summer and continues into fall, providing months of bold color. They thrive in full sun, prefer rich, moist soil, and are hardy in zones 5 to 9. While they take their time waking up in spring, once they do, they grow rapidly and fill the space with large, lush foliage and huge blooms that attract admiring eyes and pollinators alike. This perennial works best in sunny borders, rain gardens, or near patios, where you can enjoy the stunning flowers up close. Despite their exotic appearance, they're surprisingly low maintenance. Just give them consistent moisture and some space to stretch out. They pair beautifully with ornamental grasses, coneflowers, or Russian sage for a bold, balanced look. If you're looking to start summer with a serious floral statement, hardy hibiscus is the showstopper you need. It's dramatic, dependable, and guaranteed to turn heads in early summer and beyond. At number 6, we have the dependable and daisy-like asters, a pollinator favorite that brings soft color and movement to the garden just as summer begins to take off. While many people think of asters as fall bloomers, several varieties like Aster alpinus and Aster exfricardi munch bloom as early as late spring to early summer, giving your garden a head start on that soft, meadow-inspired look. These early blooming types typically grow 12 to 24 inches tall, forming tidy clumps that work perfectly in borders or natural-style plantings. Asters thrive in full sun, enjoy well-drained soil, and are hardy in zones 3 to 8, depending on the variety. Once they're established, they're drought-tolerant, disease-resistant, and super easy to care for. Asters are also incredibly pollinator-friendly, attracting bees, butterflies, and other beneficial insects all season long. Their long bloom time and airy habit make them ideal companions for coneflowers, salvias, and ornamental grasses. And since they don't demand much attention, they're great for gardeners who want long-lasting color without the extra work. If you're looking for a soft burst of blooms to bridge the gap between spring and high summer, asters are a graceful and reliable choice that won't let you down. At number 7 is the striking and architectural allium, also known as ornamental onion. These perennials make a bold early summer statement with their globe-shaped blooms that hover like fireworks above slender stems. From deep purple to white and soft lavender, alliums bring structure, rhythm, and a modern touch to any border. Many varieties of allium bloom in late spring to early summer, making them ideal for bridging the gap between spring bulbs and summer perennials. They grow best in full sun, prefer well-drained soil, and are hardy in zones 4 to 9. Depending on the variety, they range from 12 to 36 inches tall, but even the taller types remain upright and tidy, making them great for borders, beds, or even container gardens. Alliums are more than just beautiful, they're also pest-resistant, deer and rabbit-proof, and beloved by bees and butterflies. Once planted, they're incredibly low maintenance and will often come back year after year with very little effort. Their dried seed heads even offer structural interest into late summer and fall. If you're looking for a bold yet easy care bloomer that kicks off early summer with a pop of personality, Allium is a must-have for every perennial garden. At number 8 is the ever-enchanting bleeding heart, or Disintrospectabilis, a classic cottage garden favorite that brings soft elegance and romance to early summer gardens. With its arching stems and delicate, heart-shaped looms that dangle like tiny pink charms, bleeding heart is one of the most visually unique perennials you can grow. Bleeding heart starts blooming in late spring and continues into early summer, right as many shade gardens are coming to life. It thrives in partial to full shade, prefers moist, well-drained soil, and is hardy in zones 3 to 9. The plant typically grows 24 to 36 inches tall, forming graceful clumps that fill in woodland borders and shady corners beautifully. Its lacy foliage adds soft texture even after the flowers fade, though the plant may go dormant in midsummer, especially in hot climates. It pairs well with ferns, hostas, and lungwort, helping to create layered, lush garden beds that feel cool and inviting all season long. If you're looking for a plant that blooms early, thrives in the shade, and adds instant charm to your garden, Bleeding Heart is a timeless and low-maintenance choice that never fails to capture attention. At number 9, we have the feathery and elegant Astilbe, a shade-loving perennial that lights up the garden with its plume-like flowers and finely textured foliage. Blooming in shades of pink, white, red, and lavender, Astilbe adds soft color and movement to borders and beds just as summer is starting to warm up. Astilbe typically begins blooming in late spring to early summer, making it one of the first major shade perennials to show off. It grows best in partial to full shade, thrives in moist, rich soil, and is hardy in zones 3 to 8. Depending on the variety, it can range from 12 to 36 inches tall, but even the taller types remain upright and tidy. One of Astilbe's best features is that it brings brightness to shady spots without needing full sun. The fern-like foliage looks great even when the plant isn't in bloom, and the flower plumes hold their shape beautifully even when dried. It pairs wonderfully with hostas, ferns, and bleeding heart for a layered woodland-style border. If your garden needs a burst of color in early summer, and you've got some shade to work with, Astilbe is a stunning and reliable performer that brings elegance without the effort. Closing out the list is the striking and sophisticated iris, a true early summer standout. Known for its tall, sword-like foliage and elegant, ruffled blooms, iris adds vertical drama and architectural beauty to any perennial border. Its flowers come in nearly every color of the rainbow, from rich purples and blues to soft pastels and bold bicolors. Most varieties, especially bearded iris, begin blooming in late spring to early summer, making them a perfect bridge between spring bulbs and summer perennials. They thrive in full sun, prefer well-drained soil, and are hardy in zones 3 to 9. Once planted, they're incredibly low-maintenance, drought-tolerant, and long-lived, often rewarding you with decades of reliable blooms. The upright foliage adds structure and texture even after the flowers fade, and summer-blooming varieties will give you a second flush later in the season. Iris pairs beautifully with peonies, catmint, and salvia, and makes a stunning backdrop in both formal and relaxed garden settings. If you want to start the summer with color, elegance, and a plant that practically takes care of itself, iris is a timeless favorite that never goes out of style. And there you have it, 10 stunning perennials that kick off summer with bold color, beauty, and reliability. These plants don't just fill space, They set the tone for the whole season, bringing structure, pollinators, and vibrant energy to your garden right when it needs it most. Whether you're planting a new bed or refreshing an old one, adding just a few of these early summer bloomers can transform your space with very little effort. They're tough, beautiful, and ready to grow with you season after season. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.